everyone, welcome back to another 2v2 with me and Surreal Beliefs. This one we may have to actually pause it because the action kind of gets started relatively quickly. So I brought a Chaos Army, he brought an Imperial Army. We were fighting against the Greenskins and the Vampire Counts. So for my army, we have a front line of Chaos Warriors. We have a back line of Chaos Warriors with great weapons, or I guess just like a midline. And then back here, we have one Chosen with halberds. We have the ever-watching Big Bird over here. 2 Chaos Knights, 2 Marauder Horsemen with throwing axes because I hate myself. And then a Chaos Knight with lances. And yeah, that's it for me. Over here, Surreal brought 2 Demigryph Knights with halberds, Greatsword, 2 Halberdiers. We have a Sunmaker Hailstorm Rocket Battery, a Light Wizard. I think this is an Empire Captain. Where is his leader? I forget who he brought. Oh yeah, Volkmar the Grim on his War Chariot altar thing. 3 crossbows, a whole line of flagellants, and that is his army. Behind him, we have Forest Goblin Spider Riders being Vanguard deployed. We have a row of Night Goblin Archers plus Forest Goblin Wolf Rider Archers in the forest over here. And then the Chill Heists with their chilling auras are also over here. Then the main line, we have some Vargeist. We also have a lot of Graveguard and Skeletal. Actually, not. Yeah, here we go. The Skeletal Warriors at the end. The rest of these are Graveguard, a couple of them with great weapons. We have Orc Boarboy Biggins. We have a Black Knight group. We have Black Orcs. And we also have Grimgore, a Night Goblin Shaman, a lot of Goblin Rock Lobbers, and then a Zombie here at the very end. And then we also have a Vampire, a White King, and Vlad von Karstein. All, I believe, are unmounted as well. Yeah, they are all unmounted. Although Vlad, I don't think even has access to mounts. So the very beginning, these Forest Goblin Spider Riders are going to be running out of the forest. I have to immediately start to move our forces over here. And you can see the Rock Lobbers now focusing on his artillery in the very beginning. The Night Goblins are going to be moving up. The Chill Heists are going to be moving up along with these Goblin Archers. He's sitting his Demigryph Knights down to deal with what's down here. And it was after this happened is when we noticed these Forest Goblins behind him. And I was trying to warn him about them because they were heading right into his artillery. So he's sending his flagellants there and Volkmar the Grim to try and deter them. But they're still going to get into the Hailstorm Rocket Battery, which is 1,950 gold. If these things silence the Hailstorm Rocket Battery, that is so much money gone. You see more Goblin Rock Lobbers being thrown in here. The Goblin Wolf Rider Archers, I believe, are in here trying to get into the crossbows. My army is pretty slow, but we are marching over here. My Knights will make it here first, followed by the rest of my army. Vargeist are here as well. Now down here, the Demigryph Knights got caught by the Chillgeist and the Orc Boarboy Biggins. So they are actually being torn to pieces by those 2 units. This one is fine though, because it's just charged against some Night Goblin Archers, which is not a terrible thing. See, and at this point, he was just like, "Oh my God, I've never actually been Vanguard deployed against." And I'm like, "Yeah, it can suck, man." He was impressed by our enemy's use of Vanguard deployment. It's not something we see too often. We should, because it's totally useful. Because you can see, because he was Vanguard deployed upon, his army is kind of all in disarray. Things are just everywhere. He doesn't know where to go. And that's the whole point of Vanguard deploy, is to catch your enemy off guard and don't give him time to prepare a defense against it. So here come my Chaos Knights, and my 2 Marauder Horsemen are going to be going this way. I want to try and silence these Rock Lobbers. I should have went around this way, but I committed my forces over here first. There's my Everchanger as well. So we're going to charge right into the Forest Goblin Spider Riders. And also catch a little bit of these Black Orcs. Right here, I'm trying to get around these lines, but we are getting peppered by the Night Goblin Archers. See how our Knights are just trying to do what they can? Up here, there is a lot of enemy cav. Volkmar the Grim is trying to hold them off with some Halberdiers. My Chaos Knights coming here as well. That's them getting hit by the Heist Chilling Aura. The Orc Boarboy Biggins have a bonus versus large. The Chaos Knights do not, so this is actually not the best fight for them. And I'm still just trying to get around to try and kill these Archers and those Goblin Rock Lobbers. Meanwhile, the Flagellants doing what they can against these Black Orcs. Not a fight they can really have much of a chance of winning. There's also Grimgore charging in. My infantry line is finally getting here, so we are going to be engaging against the Vampire Count player. This front line of Skeletal Warriors, and then here comes those Graveguard. You can hear the Mortis engine nearby. Alright, actually I think that's the Claw of Nagash. Yeah, that's the renowned version. So we're just piling in here. The Everwatcher casting some spells. There goes the banishment from Volkmar the Grim. This Mortis engine is very annoying. It's a very annoying unit. Very good one too. Finally, we're pushing through here with some of our Marauder Horsemen, again trying to get into the Goblin Rock Lobbers, who are just pounding us, trying to deal with what archers we can. The enemy has been doing really well at intercepting our cav with these Black Knights and Orc Boy Biggins. They know what we're trying to do, or what I'm trying to do, and they're deterring me from doing it. The Chaos Warriors are now cheaper with the new patch, so I think they are more than worth it. They were basically worth it before, but I mean, obviously it's better that they're cheaper. This Mortis engine, man, so good. This is from our Ever Changer. It started in the Graveguard, but then goes into our Chaos Warriors, which is not what you want to see. We're doing what we can, trying to wrap up, or trying to destroy the Vampire accounts, but Graveguard are a very hardy unit, just kind of like Chaos Warriors are. Plus they have a bonus versus infantry. Bar guy's still alive, going down here and there against Flagellants mostly, which is a good target for them. Back here, finally, chewing through the Black Knights and Orc Boy Biggins, we finally break through and are getting into these Goblin Lobbers. It took forever. They did a really good job at deterring us. This group's going to be heading for these Night Goblins. You can see the purple Son of Xarius being dropped by the enemy there. That is a Vortex spell, one that I don't really see people use much. Everwatcher's still looking cool as hell. Over here, I tried to engage this Claw of Nagash with the chosen halberds. The problem is, this vampire lady, she goes into the middle of our forces, and our chosen end up going after her instead of the attack order, which was the Claw of Nagash. So this Claw of Nagash, which I think should have been taken down by the chosen pretty easily, is actually going to be able to live through it a lot longer. Also, let me know if you know this for certain, because I've played multiple battles with this thing, and it never seems to take much damage. Now, it does have regeneration, and there are, of course, other regenerations that the vampire accounts can bring, but so it doesn't show that this has the Wraith physical resistance. Now, it is like half Wraith, but it's also a physical thing, and it doesn't show that it does, but is that just like a stat that wasn't put on the unicard? I'm just curious if anyone knows for sure, because I've seen this thing in the middle of combat just ignore so much damage in multiple battles. So to the point where I was thinking, like, maybe this thing does have the Wraith physical resistance, it just isn't shown on the unicard. And if that's the case, then shame on UCA. But if it's not, then I guess maybe it's just really sturdy. I mean, it only has 40 armor too, which is, and 13 melee defense. So I've seen it survive just being surrounded over and over and over again. Let me know if you know for certain if it does have that Wraith ability, because I am really curious. But anyway, our chosen are going to be dealing with the vampire. I kept giving them orders to take out the Claw of Nagash, but they kept getting distracted by the vampire lady instead. The Graveguard with great weapons is going to be able to chew through the heavy armor of our Chaos Warriors, but it's still not like an uneven fight for the most part. You ever watch this? Looks so cool. We have taken out the Goblin Rock Lobbers and most of their archers at this point, so we're now going to use our cav for rear charges into these Graveguard. Graveguard is still very sturdy, though. You can see we have a flank here with our great warriors, our great weapons. Now, this charge was mostly used against the zombies and didn't actually hit the Graveguard that much, which is unfortunate. You can see Volkmar is out here trying to assist us. Grimgor is also here trying to... Oh, that's right! Grimgor just chases Volkmar around the battlefield. I forgot about that. And our chosen are slowly being destroyed by this AoE, the vampire, and just the damage that this thing can deal, because it is also anti-infantry, or anti-small, I should say, which is basically anti-infantry. Over here, Surreal's forces have mostly been dealt with at this point, which is unfortunate, but like he had a lot of things hitting him in the beginning, and it took my infantry a long time to get here. So what he has left, we have just a small group of Flagellants, some Halberdiers fighting against this Night Goblin Shaman, Black Orcs, and Great Swordsmen. The Great Swordsmen should probably win that engagement unless they break. And I think that's basically it. Light Wizard has broken at this point. Yeah, so this is mainly the fight that's left here. Is going to be our Chaos Warriors trying to do rear charges against this massive amount of Vampire Count infantry. Everwatch just running through people because it doesn't care. And these chosen, man, I was really expecting a lot from them, but that vampire lady and this Claw of Nagash, I kept giving them orders to attack the claw, but they kept getting distracted by this vampire. So they are kind of crumbling, which is not something you see Chosen do often. It's such a cool unit. Here we have a transmutation of lead being dropped down. Chaos Knight still being cycle charged in and out. You can see we have dealt with this flank for the most part. But they still have a solid chunk of infantry. They still have Vlad von Karstein, who is basically at full health. They still have a vampire. They still have their Viking. They still have the Claw and the Gash. So we're going to try and charge back in here. Do some damage to these units. I'm trying to keep our hero safe because he is taking a lot of damage. And over here I'm also trying to help Surreal mop up the rest of these Black Orcs. You can see some of his crossbows have come back from routing. I hate this thing. I hate fighting against this Claw and the Gash. It also has that chilling aura. So over here, it's looking pretty good for us currently. We're getting another rear charge against all these Graveguard. You can just look at all those people flying. Flying right into the middle of all of our Chaos Warriors. You can just chomp them down. So we have like a total surround on them. You can see they are starting to crumble a little bit. My Chosen are routed and almost totally destroyed at this point. We're getting another charge with some more Black Knights. Those three heroes are giving us quite a hard time. But at this point I was feeling pretty confident just because we have a total surround on the rest of their infantry. I send our leader against this because he has magical attacks, because I was like, you know what, this thing is not taking any damage. Let me send our Lord of Tzeentch and see if the magical is going to overcome some like phantom physical resistance. And we're going to do some damage to it, but I still don't know if it is physical resistance. I'm guessing it isn't. That seems like a big thing for CA not to put on the unit card. Volkmar is still barely alive back here. And then for the fight against their infantry, well, you can see our morale is starting to take a hit here. Grimgor is behind us, doing what Grimgor does. They just have a lot of heroes still. And our units are going to start routing here and there. These Chaos Warriors are going to route, which is going to kind of start causing a chain rout over here. We've almost got their Vampire. Almost. Everchanger is still staying in safety. These crossbows are firing down upon the Claw and the Gash, which is now taking a lot of damage. Both, oh man, but Volkmar just dropped. I was going to check. I'm pretty sure Volkmar has armor piercing, right? Yeah, I think he does. On that War Chariot. I haven't used them enough to know for certain. Still can't get that Claw and the Gash. This infantry fight, which was looking pretty good since we had a surround, is now looking a little, maybe not great. Just because our morale is currently breaking and Grimgor is back here still causing us problems. I'm just trying to cycle charge my knights in and out to give us as much advantage as possible. While our Chaos Warriors and hold the line, or basically the anvil here. So there's another charge. Just trying to break this clump of Graveguard. I think finally the Graveguards start to break here. We're finally about to kill them all. But they still do have the Claw and the Gash, which is barely alive. They still have a fully alive Vlad von Karstein. We have a Night Goblin Shaman over here. Their Vampire, I think, did fall at this point. So that's something. And their Viking is also dead. Graveguard still holding on. And Grimgor is still leading them over here. There we go. I think we're... Oh, man, they're still actually holding on. They're almost fully gone, though. So the cycle charges finally did their job, and the Graveguard are going to mostly fall. Although this group is still up. And you can see, it was at this point I was like, oh no. Oh no. Because my unit started to chain route. Even though we finally crushed that group of infantry, our units start chain routing. Leaving them a Claw and a Gash, a Vlad von Karstein, and Grimgor, and then this group of Graveguard. Everything just chain routed except for my leader. So right here I casted the Hounds, trying to do as much damage as I could. I was trying to finish off this Claw and the Gash. And now I am just going to be running around. And I'm going to try to do a charge here and there. We're Right now, I'm trying to break their morale. It's the only chance I have, so I'm going to go after this Night Goblin Shaman, trying to give them a morale debuff by killing him. And you see we can shatter him, and then we kill him. Not enough! Not nearly enough to shatter everyone's morale, and I'm like, oh crap. So now I'm going to try and draw the Claw of Nagash away from these rest of units, and I'm going to charge it to try and take it down. I'm like, boom, charge. And we can almost bring it down. It only has a 13. Well, now it has 49 because it's standing ground. It only has a 13 melee defense normally, and only 40 armor. And I was so upset that I couldn't bring this stupid thing down. Defense-wise, it's super weak, according to its unit card. But man, I swear there's some kind of hidden stats in there. Although, of course, like, again, it was being affected by stand your ground. And at this point, I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to do it. I can't do it. I can't kill Grimgor or Vlad by myself at this point, which is what I would need to do to cause a chain route. So I throw the Ever-Changer in there, and he succumbs to his wounds. So we are going to lose this one. But it's one of the closest matches I've ever had. Only their leaders were survived. This Claw of Nagash just wouldn't die. And then this one group of Graveguard. I think everything else chain routed or was dead. So yeah, very close game. Good game to my opponents and to Surreal. Alright, so for the kills, Marauder Horsemen, amazing units. 326 for this Chaos Knight, 172 for this one, 220 for the one with lances, and generally speaking, a high amount of kills on our infantry, but a lot of those are kind of inflated due to zombies and like skeletal warriors, which are pretty easy, but still a decent amount of kills. Ever-Changer getting 95 as well. For Surreal, we have 39 on Volkmar the Grim. His Flagellants did okay. The Halberdiers did pretty good. Great Swords did really well. The crossbows kind of got shut down really early and just never had enough damage after that. This one got shut down by the Chillgeists and the Orc Boy Biggins, which is unfortunate, but this Demigryph Knight unit did really well with 161 kills. And the big crushing blow was the immediate removal, basically, of the Sunmaker, which is almost 2,000 gold of the army just gone in the very beginning. So good flanking maneuver by our enemy there. Speaking of, Black Orcs did amazing. 111 kills for this Night Goblin. What? That had to be against Flagellants. It had to be, because they have no armor. That had to be what that mostly is from. Decent kills on this unit here, but the Forest Goblin Spider Riders, they weren't there to necessarily kill, just to disrupt, and they did that exceptionally well. Orc Boys brought down some Demigryph Knights. The Goblin Archers, 48 kills on those. Again, probably against Flagellants. And a decent amount of kills on these Rock Lobbers, because they're only 600 each. So it's not really that big of an investment, although 4 of them kind of is. Vampire counts, Vlad 46, Vampire 148, and some of those were my chosen. Man. Because she has regeneration, she has... actually, does she not have regeneration? Let's take a look at her after this. I don't actually think she has regeneration, but she does have other healing things that can keep her alive. Graveguard did okay. Actually, no, they did pretty good, considering my lower numbers of Chaos Warriors. Chillgeists 31, 27, and then Claw of Nagash 65. 65. That thing is... That was one of the most annoying things I had to fight in that battle. Alright, let's take a quick look at that Vampire. I don't think she has regeneration. But she comes with a self-heal. Where's your abilities? So, of course, she has the Hunger. When she's in combat, she's healing. And then she has this thing. The Immortal Will, every 45 seconds, she can replenish her hit points. But, with the regeneration debuff that they had in the patch, this is only going to get you so far. But still, it's decent enough. It kept her alive a long time. Maybe I should use them more often. I kind of always ignore vampires for the most part. I just kind of go for the necromancers. I also ignore banshees. I still don't really have a strong belief in banshees. But maybe I should give them another chance too. Like with their magical attack. I don't know. I guess you can find a use for them. And then I've seen White Kings recently doing pretty good. Yeah, I've always focused on the necromancers. I'll try to give the other vampire lords or heroes a more use in the future, I think. And of course, I still need to use all the new legendary lords and new lords here some more as well. And I don't know if I've really ever used Manfred von Karstein. I was thinking about this when I was watching this battle earlier. I was like, you know what? I don't know if I've really ever used this guy. Maybe I'll use him. I think it's just because everyone was using him early on in the multiplayer, so I'm like, whatever, man, just get out of my face. I was just tired of seeing him. So I always kind of relied on the generic Necromancer and Vampire Lord. But anyway, I'm just kind of rambling on. Thanks for watching, everybody. Leave your suggestions below. And you all have a good day. Take care.